All right, so what do we want to do? We want to dive into some breaking news, or
Yeah, let's do breaking news. You want me to pop this off here?
yeah, let's pop it off.
There we go. All right, breaking news is activated and ready.
Breaking news. Here we go. But before we start, I just want to say, Christina, thank you for watching from Scotland. And
Oh my God, we're all over. We're international tonight.
I know, man. Hold on, my computer froze. Uh-oh. There we go.
You're still here.
We got George from Missouri. We got Julie from Iowa. We got Annie from New York City. And we got Tina from Oregon. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in.
Yeah, thank you, everybody.
Here we go. Breaking news. First article. We got, and I'm sure you heard about this, everybody. This woman wants to get pregnant by her ghost boyfriend.
I think this is old, but I'm really glad that we're talking about it.
It's old. It blew up the internet the past couple weeks.
Well, she's back. And she is getting jiggy. Now I'm being OCD. I got to center this image. There we go. And she's getting jiggy with a ghost.
So
and
this woman
she wants to have a ghost baby.
This woman from Bristol, she's 30 years old. I can't even pronounce her name.
Her name is Amethyst Realm.
Yeah, I can't. You're good, man.
It's a rock.
I can't do it.
First of all, her name isn't fucking Amethyst Realm. Okay? That's definitely not her name. If it is, I apologize. But there's no way. Continue. Go ahead.
Continue. Okay, thanks. So she's only 30 years old, and she has turned her back on men and turned her interest into ghosts. The spiritual guidance counselor now says she's met a lover from the ghostly realm while on holiday in Australia and wants to have his baby. Speaking to the Australian media, she's quoted in saying, "One day while I was walking through the bush, enjoying nature, just walking through the bush, enjoying nature."
Yo, where is this from? Australia?
She was in Australia, visiting Australia.
Did you know that if you say bacon...
You know what? I'm done with you. I swear to God. I swear. Cut the shit.
Go ahead.
So she's quoted in saying, "One day while I was walking through the bush, enjoying nature, I suddenly felt this incredible energy. I knew a lover had arrived."
Oh, shit.
Explaining how their relationship worked, she says she's able to have sex and communicate with her ghoulish lover, even though she can't see him. She also said, though she wasn't 100% sure the spirit was male, she knew their connection was real. The ghost has supposedly returned to the UK to live with her, and 6 months later, she says they're ready to take things to the next level. She's quoted in saying it's pretty serious. In fact, we've even been thinking about having a ghost baby. Although she admits it sounds crazy, she said her theory was that phantom pregnancies are caused by literal ghost babies trapped in human bodies.
What does that mean?
I don't know, man. She explained how she first felt a presence 10 years ago after moving in with her then fiance. So she was engaged. While her fiance was away, she decided to experiment wearing kinky underwear to entice the ghost, and the pair then went on to have sex. Describing the encounter, she said, quote, "It was kind of like a weight. I felt the pressure on my thighs, at the same time physical breath and stroking." Asked by a shocked Holly Willoughby if this led to an orgasm, she replied, "Yes, for me." The news comes as Brits report the summer heat wave has led to major rise in ghost sightings. This week, pubgoers captured the terrifying moment a ghost was seen on camera during a seance, and a paranormal expert has said the spirit of the king of rock and roll, Elvis Presley, is not at rest. So there's a lot of paranormal happenings right now in the UK, and they're blaming it on the heat wave. Right. We had that story last week or 2 weeks ago. But basically, I'm going to say this bitch is crazy.
That story was hot, you know?
I mean...
Yo, I got an audio
she's not with
clip.
The fiance anymore, so you know he ran out the door.
I have an audio clip. I have a video about her talking about the situation. Would you like to
All right,
play
let's
it?
do it. Yeah.
All right, go. Here we go.
When did you first
a whole
encounter
interview.
a spirit?
I'm gonna let it run.
It would have been about 12 years ago now.
yeah.
I was living with my fiance.
There she is.
And he was working away a lot. We just moved into a new house in Hereford. And after a while, he was going
You know what I
away
have to
maybe
say,
1
Breggs?
week, 2 weeks at a time.
What do you have to say, man?
I started to feel
Love is love.
kind of a presence, maybe, I guess you could call it.
Love is
around the
love.
house.
Yeah, which is
I mean,
some
if
people
she's
would be a
happy-
little scared of, but you weren't scared by it.
It never
know what
felt
isn't love?
scary. It felt comforting, if anything.
And even when
What?
even
When you're making
you
up a
were
fucking
in,
story.
this all happened sort of in the spare bedroom. That was where it was, you know, it was
Yeah,
at its
yeah,
most
it's-
powerful.
I
Even
would
when
love
it
to
came
talk
up
to her
behind you and
fiance
you could
or
feel its
ex-fiance
breath
now.
on your
Yo,
neck,
she must
that
really
still
hate
didn't
his
freak you
guts.
out.
Not at all.
Imagine.
So then you decided
Imagine
that you
you're-
would take
you're
it to the
getting
next
married.
level, and you
Hold on,
dressed.
I'm gonna turn the stupid volume down. All right, imagine you're getting married, and you just like can't muster up the strength to end it in a healthy way, and instead you just say that you're fucking a ghost.
A lot of people are saying she's just on drugs.
I don't know about drugs, man. She's just.
I mean, she doesn't look like she's on drugs at all.
I'm not going towards drugs. I'm gonna say she wanted out of that marriage so bad
That she made up this whole thing.
that she's now in a relationship with a ghost.
The mom shoe said she's a nut job.
You know, it's bold. Mom Shoe, you're right. When you're right. Whatever. Well, that's that. So, you want to move on?
Yeah, let's move on, man.
What's next?
All right, what do we got next? A haunted prison is starting to let people stay the night.
Let's see if I can get the right one. Nope. Yep.
Nope. Bill Highland, just go back to the last story. Bill Highland said maybe her husband likes to watch through the IR camera.
Oh, dirty, Bill. He probably does.
Probably does. All right, here we go. Haunted prison in HMP Shempton Mallet in the UK is letting guests stay the night. Calling all would-be ghost hunters and amateur paranormal investigators. If you long had hold a sleepover in a haunted jail on your ghostly bucket list, you can now spend the night in an allegedly haunted prison in the UK. Not just any prison either. We're talking about HMP Shempton Mallet in Somerset. Was one of the longest operating prisons in the UK before it was shut down in 2013. The experience isn't happening until 2019, but you could plan now to get your investigation in. Hosted by UK Paranormal
Can you
Group.
read the entire article in that tone?
No. Hosted by UK Paranormal Group Bump in the night. The overnight trip at HMP
Terrible
Shempton.
name. Terrible name.
That's creative. The overnight trip.
No, it's not. All right, go ahead. Continue.
The overnight trip is set to occur the evening of May 24th, though the morning of May 25th, 2019, through the morning of May 25th, 2019. Beginning at 9 p.m., attendees will gather at the prison. You'll then spend the night conducting various paranormal experiments, including using the Ouija board.
We're going to talk about the Ouija board.
In some of the areas in which supernatural activity has reportedly been recorded, as well as borrowing Bump in the Night's equipment and wandering off to investigate on your own if you feel like it. Your night will end at 6:30 a.m. the next morning. Tickets aren't cheap.
How much? Hold on. Let me guess. This is for individual?
Yeah, I believe per person.
All right, per person, it's going to cost $155.
Less.
$125.
Less.
I don't care anymore.
$71.
That's not bad, dude.
No, that's not bad. I feel like the going rate's like $100.
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah. Constructed in 1610, it was originally opened in 1625 as a house of corrections, not just a jail, but more like a workhouse, according to the Victorian Web at Houses of Corrections. Quote, work was provided for the unemployed at local rates of pay. Additionally, work could be forced on the idle and on vagabonds. Meanwhile, according to London Lives, houses of corrections were intended to met out punishment and reform of the poor convicted of petty offenses through hard labor. In other words, if you got sent to the house of correction like HMP, Shempton Mallet, you wouldn't just be sitting around in a cell all day. You'd be performing backbreaking labor day in and day out.
Sounds terrible.
So we don't. They had some executions there, according to the jail's website. It was closed down for a little while in the 1930s due to underuse. During the Second World War, however, it was resurrected as a military prison. The British military used it starting in the early 1940s. Then it became an American military prison from 1942 to 1945. In addition to prison sentences, executions continue to be carried out at the prison during this time. The Telegraph reports that by the end of 1944, 16 American soldiers had been executed via hanging, and 2 more by firing squad for various crimes they had committed.
I thought you were going to say that executions still happen to this day. Like they just brought people to this abandoned prison and just took them out.
Yeah, I'll just do it here. Doesn't have to be anything fancy.
That'd be messed up. Yo, I don't get... So, like, this prison exists, right?
Right.
It's these ghost tours that are going to keep it operational? Monetarily?
I mean, they're just doing one. It sounds like they're doing one event right now. They're probably going to... My assumption is they're going to see how that event goes and see how many people they get, and probably might make it like a monthly thing or every couple months.
Okay. That's cool. I like new places being open. $70 isn't so bad either.
No, I don't think that's bad at all. I mean, the average rate, I feel like, is like 100, so...
Okay.
Okay.
All right, cool. What do you want?
Cool, man. Cool. Let's go to the Ouija board.
There it is. Oh, it's on the screen. Everybody run in terror.
All right, so this article is from inverse.com, and here we go. So to start off, before I start reading this article, everybody has a different view of the Ouija board. Some people think it's complete bullshit. Some people think you shouldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole. Some people, you shouldn't use it. You shouldn't, whatever. Michael and I think it's bullshit. That's our view on it.
Well, hold on. First of all, don't put words in my mouth. Okay? I'm not saying that it is an impossibility to communicate with something using the Ouija board. What I am saying is that this hype of like fear around it, as if this board game is like this for sure portal opening situation, is like an overhyped piece of shit. You know what I mean? So I think that idea is absurd. I don't know what can happen otherwise, but everyone's getting all upset over this toy.
Great. That was good. All right. So depending on
whatever, go ahead.
Depending on who you ask, Ouija boards are either an excellent way to communicate with the dead or an effective way to freak out your friends. Commercialized and popularized. I can't.
Say that again?
Go fuck yourself. At the end of the 19th century, Ouija boards required 2 or more people to place their hands lightly on top of a triangular planchette and ask the board a question. The answers emerge from the letters, words, and numbers printed on the board. How the board answers is explained in a new study in phenomenology and the cognitive sciences. Woo!
Oh, you got it.
God damn, that's a mouthful.
Take a sip.
Mark Anderson, PhD, a postdoctoral researcher at Aarhus University in Denmark, believes that he and his team have figured out how the spooky toy works.
Oh, shit.
At the heart of Ouija, he tells Inverse, lies a paradox. If you scratch at the possibility of the paranormal, you're left with a group of people who are producing the responses themselves. Yet, most participants, whether or not they believe they can communicate with spirits, are unable to predict what responses emerge. In their study, Anderson and his team discovered that the disparity depends on 2 of the brain's innate qualities, a sense of agency and a love of prediction. Anderson and his team came to this conclusion after going to Ouija Con, a 3-day conference in Baltimore. I didn't know that existed.
I want to go.
So...
A lot of demons in that place, you know what I mean? A lot of conjuring going on.
You know? Ouija Con, to research, preserve, and celebrate the history of talking boards. That's what the conference is.
Okay.
While they were there, the scientists recruited 40 people from the conference and asked them to play 2 consecutive games on the Ouija board. The participants, which included skeptics and believers, wore eye-tracking devices during both games. In the first game, they were asked to simply spell the word Baltimore and nod to the location of the conference. In the second, they were told to ask the board whatever they wanted. After the games, each player was asked whether they experienced a sense of agency during the game, how much they felt a push from the other player, how much they pushed the planchette, the moving piece on the board, and whether they believed they did or even could encounter a supernatural entity. Going back through their data, the authors observed that in the first set of games, participants' eyes would flick from letter to letter as they spelled out Baltimore. But in the game without a prompt, participants had a 21.3% lower chance of predicting what letter to look at. However, as a word began to form, people's eyes would start to look predictively at the next letter. That's because whether or not a person is conscious of it, the mind likes to predict and impose structure on events.
Right. You ever see those like billboards or reading things where they'll have words that are jumbled, but they're close enough to where you can easily read the sentence? Like,
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this is super interesting, and I think it really does explain a lot, to be honest.
The interviews revealed that individuals who believed Ouija boards could contact supernatural beings were more likely to think that the planchette moved on its own and that neither they nor the other participants pushed it. Doubting participants who believed the planchette was driven by subconscious thoughts felt differently. They thought that the other participant moved the planchette and, to a lesser degree, that they might have pushed it too without realizing it. I think basically, I think the whole thing's a mind fuck.
Yeah, man, it's like you playing off of the other person, and eventually, like you said, you're going to, like, converge on, like, eventually you're both going to be like, oh, it's spelling this word. So both people are eventually going to be moving towards those letters. Whereas in the beginning, it may be a little bit more random.
Right. So it says the general conclusion from Anderson's work and our own is this. The sense of agency can easily be distorted. Give someone a planchette or a pendulum, give them suggestions that it will move, and they will feel as if it is moving on its own. Ultimately, though, we do not understand how sense of agency distortions occur so readily and consistently in these situations.
I think it's just the brain. I think it just does it.
It's just like a mind fuck.
Yeah. I mean, if you're going to use this device, it would have to be a board in a room with no one touching it. If that fucking planchette moves then we'll start talking.
Right.
You know?
I agree.
So, Ouija board.
I agree.
All
right, here we go. Haunted Toys are coming to San Antonio in September.
Here they are. Very creepy looking.
So, good news for Texas-based ghost enthusiasts. The 2018 Nightmares of San Antonio Paranormal Fest is coming. And this year it's going to feature an exhibit of haunted toys covering more than 500 years of spooky history.
Oh, shit.
The exhibit will feature a collection of local, allegedly haunted dolls. So no, you just won't have to be reading about the history of haunted toys. You'll be able to see the toys firsthand.
Cool.
So yeah, that's pretty cool. The festival and exhibit are the brainchild of Curious Twins, a San Antonio-based paranormal investigative and tour company that uses history, science, and psychic mediums to explore the environment. According to the company's website, they offer ghost tours, ghost hunts, and classes in psychic readings in addition to organizing events from time to time, like, for example, the Nightmares of San Antonio Paranormal Fest. According to Curious Twins' Facebook page, the 2018 festival will occur on September 22nd from 7 to 11 p.m. at the Brick at Blue Star Arts Complex, a really neat-looking event space that used to be part of an ice and cold storage company in San Antonio's King William neighborhood. It's the second year the event has been mounted. In 2017, they took over the brick on September 16th for a night of spooky fun, including psychic mediums, ghost stories, ghost photography, art, fashion, food and drink, and a costume contest.
It sounds like overall fun.
Yeah,
Right there.
I think that's a nice little cool event. I would attend if I was in San Antonio.
I would attend also.
Sounds like a good time. Maybe I'll take a trip. Maybe I'll take a Paranormal Warehouse trip. Go live.
I would love that. Do it.
Are you gonna pay for my flight?
No. No, I'm not. Why are you looking at me? Why? All right.
Just joshing.
Great.
All right, that's all I got for breaking news.
Great segment today. Great Breggy news.